Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before discuss about the question of the final test, we are going to learn about solar and lunar eclipse first. Do you ever heard about the solar and lunar eclipse? Okay, let's discuss about these materials. At the last video, you have learned about the revolution and rotation of the Earth. Now, because of the rotation and revolution of the Earth, the Moon have revolution and rotation also. So, this movement can causes of the solar and lunar eclipse. You can see at this picture. The Moon move rotation and revolution, move around the Earth, also move around the Sun. The first, we have solar eclipse. Solar eclipse can happen when the new moon moves between Sun and Earth. The moon blocking some or all of the sun rays from reaching the Earth. In solar eclipse, have two types of the shadow. First is umbral shadow. Umbral shadow is the smaller shadow and the darker shadow. And then the second is penumbral shadow. Penumbral shadow is the larger shadow. We know that the size of the Sun, Moon, and Earth are different. But in this event, at the sky, the size of the Sun and Moon look like have same size. In solar eclipse, have three types: total eclipse, and then partial eclipse, and then annual eclipse. Total eclipse can happen when the moon completely covers the sun's surface or covers all of the sun rays from reaching the earth. So, at the noon, suddenly our earth become dark like at the night time. And then total eclipse can only be seen if you are standing within the umbral shadow. But the people within penumbral shadow cannot see the total eclipse, but they can see partial eclipse. What is that? The outside the path of totality, the moon passes in front of the sun of center, never fully covering its surface. So we can see at this picture. Yes, this animation can imagine that partial shadow, partial eclipse. And the third type is annual eclipse. Annual eclipse can happen when the moon passes directly in front of the sun, but the moon appears too small to fully cover the sun. So we can see this eclipse like ring. And we can call at bahasa is gerhana matahari cincin, because the sun rays forming like ring. So we can call gerhana matahari cincin, and in English is annual eclipse. It's different with total eclipse. When total eclipse, it looks same size at the earth, at the sun and the moon. We can see look like the same size, but they are different. But in annual eclipse, we can see the moon too smaller than the sun. So the sun rays forming ring. And how are the difference between solar and lunar eclipse? Now we can explain and we can learn about the lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse can occur when the earth blocks some or all of the sun rays from reaching the moon. So it's different with solar. When solar eclipse, the sun and then moon and then earth in the straight line, in the same straight line. If the lunar eclipse, sun, earth and then moon in the straight line. In solar system, the moon, the position of the moon is in the middle of the sun and the earth. But in the lunar eclipse, the position of the earth that in the middle between sun and moon. So that is different about the lunar between the lunar and solar eclipse. So now you can look at this picture. At the lunar eclipse also have two types of the shadow. First is umbral shadow, is the darker and smaller shadow, and then the second is penumbral shadow, is the larger area of the shadow. Lunar eclipse happens when full moon. We have learned about the moon phase. At the moon phase, full moon can occur in every month. But in lunar eclipse, we cannot find the lunar eclipse in every month. So why don't we have a lunar eclipse every month? Let's see this video. This video can explain to you the moon's orbit around the earth is elliptical. This is elliptical. So the moon's orbit is still a few degrees in relation to the earth. You can see the white straight line, white line. Yes, when the sun, earth and moon in one straight line with the white line, so it can happen lunar eclipse. So why don't we have lunar eclipse every month? And the answer is because the moon's orbit around the earth is elliptical. So the earth, sun and moon don't always align. Okay, next. Lunar eclipse have three types, same like solar eclipse. The first, total eclipse, and then the second is partial eclipse, and then the third is penumbral eclipse. And the third is different with solar eclipse. Total eclipse can happen when the earth blocks all of the sun's direct from reaching the moon. The earth, sun and moon get a perfect alignment, and the moon falls within the earth's umbral shadow. You can see the picture, you can see the animation. When the moon falls within the earth's umbral shadow, it calls total eclipse. This type is the most striking type from all of type, because the total, they turn the moon a sunset red. The sunset red. So we can see the color of the moon change become red. In this picture, we have moon that the color is red, and we can call blood moon. How could that happen? Okay, next, you can see this picture. The next picture, you can see at the picture, the blue light is scattered by Earth's atmosphere, and then the red light gets refracted, passes through the atmosphere and falls into the moon. We have learned also about the light, the characteristic of the light, or the properties of the light, that light can be refracted. And this event, the red lights get refracted, and that is causes the moon have color is red. At the partial eclipse occur when the Earth, Sun, and Moon don't perfect align. So only part of the moon passes in the umbral shadow. You can see this animation. Okay, the moon just passes in the umbral shadow. Just only part of the moon, not all of the part. Okay. At the third types of the lunar eclipse is the penumbral eclipse. Penumbral eclipse can occur when the moon through Earth's penumbral shadow. When the partial eclipse, at the partial eclipse, only part of the moon passes the umbral shadow. But in penumbral eclipse, the moon through Earth's penumbral shadow. You can look at this picture. At this animation, can imagine that the moon just through Earth's penumbral shadow. All of these materials about solar and lunar eclipse that have explained and have learned. So we have question about these materials. What is the question? The question is compare between solar and lunar eclipse. Okay, when you get question that compare, so you can make table between solar and lunar. Okay, and the next step, you have draw the picture of the solar and lunar eclipse, and don't forget at the solar and lunar eclipse have different picture. In solar eclipse, sun, and then moon, and then earth. The moon, the position of the moon is in the middle of the sun and earth. But in the lunar eclipse, the middle position is not moon but earth. So sun, earth, and moon. The position of the earth in the middle. It is different with solar eclipse. And then the next step, you have explanation about the picture. The solar eclipse happens when the new moons move between the earth and the sun in one straight line. Okay? And the lunar eclipse happens when the earth blocks some or all of the sun's direct light from reaching the moon. When solar eclipse, the moon blocks the sun direct light from reaching the earth. And then the lunar eclipse, the earth blocks sun direct light from reaching the moon. That is the different between solar and lunar eclipse. Okay? Wish you understand about this question and about these materials, and good luck for the examination of the final.